What is going on, my friends, and welcome back to another video on the channel. Well, in today's video, we're going to be covering Luna Classic as it has just made another move that we called pretty much to a T. So with that being said, let's not waste any more time at all, and let's get straight into today's video. So of course, let's start off with a quick recap, a little 1-minute recap of what has happened the last couple days. Well, as we did see this peak get put in back on the, roughly right around the 8th of September, we did start to notice this continuation pattern to the downside, in which we went down, we put in a bit of an ascending wedge, and then the continuation to the downside. Now, basing our Fibonacci's off of this swing low to this swing high, I told you all over the last 4 or 5 videos that if at any given point we lost this 37 level or the 38 level, that we could definitely see this crash down towards dead man's land between 33 and 30 cents. I said that taking on a short trade once we did lose 37 wasn't a terrible idea, and that I would be expecting the price to revisit right back around where we put in support here and resistance here to create dead man's land here. Now, as you can see, if you did go ahead and take on that trade, you will have been up with gains of anywhere between 13 to 20% from that short trade. So of course, major congratulations to anyone who did get in on that. From that point forward, in yesterday's video, I told you that it is a strong likelihood that once we revisit this level, we hit dead man's land and we start to come down to test 30 cents, we need to be on the lookout for some type of bounce back to the upside eventually, right? I was like, it is a strong likelihood that we do start to see the bulls stepping in here, especially as our 4-hour RSI was starting to flip bullish. Now, of course, that is exactly what's happening. We've made our way back up. We've broken the short-term trend line that we've been in for the last couple days, roughly, and now we are starting to prepare for what comes next. So of course, going forward, it now becomes a game of figuring out, is this actually going to lead to some type of growth, or is this some type of just short-term bounce that's going to lead to a continued fall to the downside? So of course, there's no way for me to know exactly what's going to happen, but over the last week or two, we've called almost every single one of these moves based off of these ranges we create. So let's go forward and let's start to look at more ranges and figure out exactly how we can be making even more gains off of Luna Classic. So let's just start off here by completely getting rid of every single thing on this chart and starting off with just the basics of what's our RSI saying. Well, whenever I look at the RSI, one thing I'm starting to notice is that we are still seeing drives of bullish divergence. Now, the reason I say that is because if you look at the most recent macro low, which was going to be right here between let's call it 21, 23, this little area right here. And then you look at where we are now, we of course are still seeing a drive of bullish divergence. Now, in that same time frame, we did come down to put in this low and put in the complete lower low here to show this beautiful sign of bullish divergence, again with the higher low on the price and the lower low on the RSI. Now, one thing to even further confirm that bullish divergence is the fact that we did touch this quote unquote oversold territory, or basically on the RSI, we did hit 30. Now, whenever you hit 30 and you initiate your bullish divergence, that usually just said it's a little bit stronger and there's a more likelihood of you seeing some type of pump to the upside, which I do believe is what we are seeing right now. But of course, with all of this being said, let's kind of zoom out to even something like the daily timeframes to see how this is holding up. What you can see is that in that same exact time frame that we were talking about, we're still seeing strong bullish divergence in which we have this low, the higher low, that low, and the extreme lower low. But even if we go back on the dailies and we look at the previous macro low down here, back towards 12, boom, low, higher low, low, lower low. So what this tells me is that on all time frames right now, we're seeing extreme bullish divergence. And what does that mean? Well, what that means is that as we did come in and put in this top, there was a strong likelihood we would see some type of pullback. I mean, that's just what happens. You can see here we did work up in one wave. We came down for a second wave, put in our third wave. This didn't follow Elliott's wave theory, but it did follow a 5-wave cycle. And as you can see off of the 5th wave, we are now seeing the stronger correction to the downside. We would genuinely or generally fall after the 5th wave to the upside, and that's just what's happening. And it seems as if we're getting some type of natural, healthy correction back to the downside. And so, as this correction is happening to the downside, that means that our charts are resetting and we are seeing the RSI and many of our indicators pulling back and cooling down as they need to allow for even more growth to the top side. We need to open up the door of opportunity on the RSI by going down to be able to re-clear some of this room back up here to allow that price to work its way to the top side. The bulls have to get a little bit of a cool down period in order to continue this move. So this is a good thing for the price, of course, as long as we do eventually start to bounce. So how am I looking at this now? Now that, we're seeing a healthy correction, the move that we talked about yesterday and the day before yesterday are going into play. Well, what am I looking for next? What I'm going to do is I'm going to zoom down to the 4-hour charts. So as we can see, we are seemingly putting in some type of drive of a descending wedge. Now, it's not going to be perfect, but it is pretty damn close to what I would look for from a descending wedge. And as you can see, if we do go ahead and draw in our resistance and our support, we do now create a range. All of our trades recently have come from ranges, so we're not going to break anything or fix anything that's not broken, okay? So what you can see is that you have your range, your resistance to the top side here, and your support to the bottom side here. Now, what I'm going to be looking for is, well, which one of these do we either clear first, or which one of these brings us to a key point of resistance or support. Now, what do I mean by that? Well, at any given point, if we break to the upside of this wedge, we're going to come back down and back test it. That's just almost always what happens. So when we see this move to the top side at some point, which I do believe we will see because generally descending wedges or descending triangles off of macro uptrends do usually lead to breakups to the upside, okay? So at any given point, when we do see this move to the top side and we hold it as support, we come back down maybe on the hourly or the 4-hour charts, we hold this level of support and then re-clear the breakout high, that's when I'm going long. This point right here is the moment that I am going to be doing another big purchase because once we are capable of breaking resistance, back testing it, and then clearing the high that we put in when we broke out, we will almost always see growth from that point forward. Now remember, when I do this trade, I'm doing it all through BitGet. You guys know I'm an advocate for BitGet. I genuinely believe, again, they are the best exchange in the world. They have a 0 fees trading option right now on spot trading, so definitely go check that out if you want to save yourself some money. If you want to make yourself some money, there is an up to $4,000 deposit bonus for those of you who use my link down below, and the best trader who does use my link down below will get $1,500 a month every single month that they are trading. So definitely go down, check out that link, and do not miss that opportunity. So now that we know the bullish scenario, what are we looking for again? We're looking for the breakout, the back test, and the clearing of the breakout high. Once we do that, this is all steam a go. This could likely be anywhere between 43 and 47, and I'm looking for some type of move of that nature. Now, although that does look good and sounds good, and that's what we want to happen, we have to understand and appreciate the fact that we do have resistance above us now, right? We have this wick resistance, we have this bottom resistance, all around this, 38 to 43 area right here. And that's going to be very hard to clear. And there is still a chance that we do start to approach it and then cycle back to the downside towards the 27 to 25 level. Now, remember, there's a lot of things happening this week. The merge CPI data, of course, the burn news that does happen from Luna Classic always causes moves. So it's not going to say that as we are looking for a move to the upside, that one is guaranteed. With all of the news and the resistance that we're seeing, there is still a chance we do pull to the downside. So how am I going to go about that? Well, personally speaking, it's going to be an easy move for me. I think that if we go back down and we start getting 4-hour closes below this previous point of support in which we established at around 33 cents, and I know again it's not 33 cents, but you get the picture, 33 cents, I think there's a strong chance we do come back to again retest this 30-cent level. And for that reason, there could be a nice little 10% short trade there from 33 to 30. And you could honestly likely hold onto that short trade if you'd like to, because it wouldn't surprise me at that point to push maybe to 27 to 28 to come revisit the bottom side of this wedge. Right now, the only thing I'm focusing on is waiting for the breakout from this wedge or shorting whenever we do lose key support levels and come revisit the bottom side of the wedge. That's the only thing I'm going to be doing. I do not like buying cryptos while they are in wedges of this nature. I just don't think it makes sense. We're in a macro downtrend. Why would I be buying when we are guaranteed to continue to go down while we're in this? Okay, I wait to buy when we clear it and hold it and start to break the breakout high, and I short it whenever we lose key support levels such as 33 cents. So in this example, I'm going to be looking for 33 cents to get lost, and then I may open up a nice little short trade back on down to 30 cents as we retest the double bottom low. Okay, so pay very close attention. Yes, I absolutely am saying it could go up or it could go down because that's exactly what it could do. A good trader, a good influencer, a good YouTuber, whatever you want to call it, doesn't sit here saying it has to do this, so you must do this now. No, a good trader, a good YouTuber says, hey, these are the things that could happen, and this is how I'm preparing for any of those, so that although I think this is going to happen. Just in case I'm wrong, this is what you can do to execute on that and make gains any way this market goes. My whole goal here is to make gains under any circumstances that the market offers, and that's exactly what we've been doing from Luna Classic, and that's what we're going to keep doing with Luna Classic. And so for that reason, do stay tuned for the next video. I'm posting a Solana update in a couple hours here, so make sure you check that out as well. But if you're here for the Luna Classic content, I post it once or twice every single day, so turn on notifications, and as long as this thing keeps getting volatile and moving like crazy, we're going to keep the daily updates coming. So of course, I hope you guys did enjoy today's video. Make sure you check out the Patreon link down below, and I will see you all next time. Peace.